Freaky. I feel so freaky. There's something about the way you look at me. Just got me imagining and seeing things in my domain. Feel like a hurricane, and I can't take it no more, and she can't take it no more. And I want you, bud, and get his ass on this covers. There's so many things. Tasha, there's so many things.
That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
On a Wednesday?
There's so many things I want to do. Cause you'll be banging, 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 and banging the headboard. Banging, banging, and banging, and banging that headboard. You don't know about that. Alexa, pause. What's going on, baby girl?
What is going on? Absolutely nothing. Glad the day is over with, having a nice glass of wine, and I am ready to get in the bed.
I wasn't going to drink tonight, audience, but it's been an extraordinary day. Extraordinary.
Wow, what happened?
So I have to drink.
What happened?
Where have you been? Have you been hiding under a rock, baby?
I've been getting cursed out all day. No, thank you. I ain't been hiding, that's for sure. I just been getting cursed out all
What's
day.
up, D? What's up, sis?
I can't. Y'all sound muffled. I can't hardly hear y'all.
I don't know what's wrong, baby girl.
Put
Yo,
your headphones in, Sherry.
yeah, she said put your headphones in.
Oh, no headphone.
What's up, D?
Let me see. I hate that.
It's been an extraordinary day. If you ain't been watching CNN, it's been an
Okay.
extraordinary day. So I wasn't going to drink today, actually, because
I
I've been
don't
doing
know.
good this week on my resolutions to eat better, do better. I've been eating
But you sound
salad,
like you're
I've been
talking
drinking
shit
water.
on there.
So,
I'm gonna have to get on here and curse you out because I ain't hear
so
what you said. But I got you
I
always
don't know.
talk.
Well, sis, you're gonna have to get it together on here. So, and you ain't got no drink in your hand. Everybody ought to have a drink in their hand today.
I do.
There you go, Tasha. Where
Well,
your drink at?
people pout and throw tantrums because that's all it amounts to is a tantrum.
There you go.
We're
And
we're
so
not gonna we're
I,
not doing
I was
politics.
I
We're
was
not
just about
doing
to say we're
politics.
not
I
gonna go
don't want to
politics,
hear it. I don't
but
want
I
to hear
gotta
it.
say
I don't want to hear
Georgia did the damn thing and they
Yes,
acted a
y'all
damn
did it.
fool. But we're
Yes.
gonna leave that alone.
it. It
It,
is.
it, it's been extraordinary. But anyway, Sherry, you sideways in the camera.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna fix it. I'm trying to
Okay. What's
undo.
going on, nephew?
What's going on?
All right. So anyway, welcome everybody on another edition of Real Talk for Real Men, Wednesday Hump Day. This is always my favorite time of the week. I know if I get to my show on Wednesday, I got my week beat. I got it on the downside now, so I'm feeling good about myself. And so, I'm gonna get into another good conversation today. So tonight, everybody, we're gonna be talking about relationships from a little different perspective. You know, and so hopefully that you can get into this. And so let me pop in my subject so everybody can see. And it's called What You Ain't Gonna Do, the do's and don'ts of relationships.
Mm.
And I always like to tell people what inspires me to come up with these topics. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been really finding a lot of cool what's going on, Lady G? Lady G, what's going on?
Hey, honey.
Hey, baby, how you doing? All right, welcome to the conversation. How you doing?
I'm tired as hell, but I'm
I,
here.
I understand. Well, I appreciate you showing up. I'm looking forward to your content. So I was just introducing the topic. Tonight we're talking about what you ain't gonna do, the do's and don'ts of relationships. What inspired this subject this week was over the last couple of weeks, I've been tuning in on some very good conversations where there's been different scenarios that takes place in relationships, married relationships or just even exclusive relationships, and it got me to thinking what I would do, what I would take, what I would go for, and what I wouldn't. So I've had some private conversations with some of you guys about some of these things, and you didn't even know it that I was building the content for this conversation. So we're gonna talk about tonight from your perspective how you would handle certain scenarios, and then of course at the end I'm gonna throw in a couple of do's and don'ts. That's pretty generic to what would make a relationship work and what don't. So I want to present a first scenario to you guys, okay? And some of them will just be straightforward, and some of them will come with a little story. This one is a little story, and you may have seen this on social media. So imagine if you're in a relationship, you're married or you got a significant other, but the point is you guys are living together. It's a serious relationship, right? Now, you as the woman, what's going on, Candace? How you doing, sweetheart? So I'm telling this scenario, the first scenario. So imagine if you're in your house and you're married or you got your boyfriend, but it's a serious relationship. Y'all live together. Now you invite your father to dinner with the rest of the family. Now he comes
Mhm.
to dinner. You fix your dad's plate, fix him a nice plate of food. You fix everybody else a plate of food. And then you turn and you fix your husband, you fix your boyfriend a plate. But imagine if in this scenario, you've served everybody off of the best dishes now for your significant other. Oh man, there's no more plates left. So I'm gonna have to put his stuff in a bowl. And damn, they used all the forks. Well, baby, here's a spoon.
Yeah.
Now, under this
No.
scenario, so, Darcel's already shaking her head. Somebody say something. Please mute all audio in the background. Okay, I don't know what. Okay, so under this scenario, the husband got pissed from where he stood. He was like, "Oh no, what you ain't gonna do is give me my shit last when I'm the head of the house and I pay the bills."
That's right.
And they got into a major argument, and he left.
Good for him.
Was he right? Okay. Daracel, you've already spoken out. Tell me why you think he's right.
Because once you're married, your partner comes first before everybody, before your parents, before anybody. So if they come over to dinner, they should not expect to be first. Yeah, you're trying to be a gracious host or whatever. But in that situation, I'm always like, baby, here's your food. And then you start serving everybody else. But you don't put him last like he's the dog of the house. I mean, I know there's a lot of women, I've seen a lot of women do that, but that's not the order that it should be. Even your dad at this point, if you married, if it's your boyfriend, that's different. But if you're married, your husband comes first.
Okay, so are you saying then exclusively if you're married? Because what if you're not married, but you in a stable, exclusive relationship and you live together, but you're not married? So you saying it only applies if you're married?
No, it don't
Well,
apply
no,
if you're
because in
married.
that, I
Hold
would
on, hold
say
on, Latia.
in a situation where you living together and y'all cohabitating and y'all, because y'all basically pretending to or trying to get to the level of marriage.
Okay,
So the situation would be the same. He still should come first.
so you
Now,
feel
if
in this
he
instance he was right.
Right. If he came as a visitor like everybody else to your house, then you pick the order you want. But when he's living there, yeah, he should be first.
Okay, Latia, what you want to add?
No, I was saying what she said was absolutely 100 because he paying the bills in that house. So why should he be last? If your parents are handicapped and they can't do for themselves, that's a difference. But if this man taking care of you, paying your bills, making sure you got food on the table to share with other people, you better get that man his food first.
Okay. Anybody disagree with that before I call on people? Anybody disagree with that?
I disagree.
I do.
I disagree. I
Sherry,
disagree.
go ahead, Sherry.
I knew
I dis
Candace was
I
going to disagree.
I disagree. My daughter, no, nobody's coming before my daughter. I feed my daughter first, then I get my husband. And I have a husband. I don't care if he was a boyfriend or a husband or whoever. Nobody's coming before my daughter.
No, man.
So in your scenario, Sherry,
Mm-mm.
the father comes, you're feeding your daughter first before anybody. She
Anybody,
come before anybody.
anybody.
Okay, I'm gonna change the story. What if
That's
it's
crazy.
I want to hear you because I want to be clear. So even if it's your mama,
My daughter comes before anybody. I
I
don't
want to
care
be
who they
What
is.
what if you had two kids?
Well, my kid, my
Put
kids
your
come
favorite.
first. I'm gonna feed
clear.
my
You gonna
kids,
feed
and
the kids
I'm
first.
gonna feed the kids first. Yeah.
I feel like a
Okay.
lot of women say that until men start doing the same thing. Like, if I put my mom before my girlfriend, then all of a sudden it's a problem.
Right.
That's
It
No,
will
can I
that's
can
kind
I
of the
say
flip
why I
side.
disagree?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Terry,
because
hold
I
that
want to
thought.
say why I disagree
Terry,
too.
hold that thought because I'm coming to a scenario with that very thing. Candace, why do you disagree with this
I
with the guy?
I disagree because first of all, in our household, we both pay the bills. So if that's the case, if since we're both contributing, we both need to eat first then. But my thing is the principle from in my household, my husband would not want older people to just go without eating and he'd be like, fix my plate. We are very gracious people, so we're gonna cater to our guests. Now, as for if my father is here, which I don't have a relationship with him, but let's say I did, I would feed my father first with him being older, and then I guess make my husband's plate as well. I make both at the same time and just feed them both, to be honest. Now with the spoons and all that, that's his fault. They need to get some more forks or something in their house. I'm not understanding why they ran out of spoons and forks. I agree with the principle of it. I understand what he's saying, but I saw this article or this meme. I feel like he was being petty, and it's a bigger issue besides him getting fed first. To be honest, it's something bigger than that. He might feel disrespected in his marriage.
Okay. Okay. Tasha, you also disagree.
I have a problem with it all the way around. I'm not fixing anybody's plate. Nobody.
Mhm.
The way I see it, the way I would do it is that it would be set up more buffet style where you serve your fucking self. I hate to sit there and have to ask somebody how much do you want. You don't. My father does not eat off of regular plates. My father eats off of a fucking serving platter. He eats so much. I'm not fixing to sit there. Dad, how much you want? Fix your own plate. I ain't got time for it. I'm not helping anyone fix their plate unless it's something like they can't. Little kids, fine. But that whole scenario, serving my husband, you fix it yourself. Just do it. I'm not going to keep asking you how much you want on this plate. Come in here and fix it yourself. Just like I would not expect you to fix my plate. Don't touch my plate. Let me do it because I don't want you dishing out how
I
much you
just
want me to have. I'll do it myself.
I don't feel like it's not even about the food.
that's how you
It's
do
about showing your family that he is first in your life. That's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with the food, the actual dinner. It's just for me, it's showing them that okay, he's number one in my life. Y'all can
Right.
wait 2 minutes because that's exactly what it amounts to. It's 2 minutes, you know. But you get him settled and you sit there, you eat, you want to drink, things like that, and then you go on. You still been a gracious host, but you don't want him to feel like he left out. You know, he looking around like, okay, everybody else in the house can ate. And then where's mine? I mean, that's the way I feel about it. I'm
Any
like, I mean,
man
it's
that
not really about serving him. It's
any
about,
man that
treating him
Okay.
like a man.
Okay.
any man that
Okay.
I know in their home, they're gonna want everyone else to eat before they do, before you even fix their plate.
So
That's
when y'all get
my dad,
married, I have
that's
a
my
question.
My
family, that's
husband,
how we were
When
raised. He's gonna say everybody eat before he does anything. He doesn't even want to touch the food until everybody has already got their plates.
Well, that's
Okay.
cool. All right. Well, what if we eating at his parents' house? So if that's the reverse scenario, then I should eat first when I go to your parents' house.
yeah, like
You
when
gonna
we go
fix
to
your
his
own plate?
parents,
Go ahead.
my parents, yeah, regardless of
Oh,
whether we
I'll
have,
fix it, but you won't be there.
right, but when you
Fix your own plate. That's fine.
yeah,
That's what they would say as well, is that
so
you would
when you
fix your
get
own plate
married,
before anyone else. That's my parents.
see, with me,
when
if
you
his
get
mother is here,
married,
I'm fixing her plate as well. So that's just what
Okay.
I do.
Okay. So I'm gonna chime
I
in,
got
of
a
But
course.
question.
we,
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Go ahead.
when you get married and you take your vows, and I say forsaking all others as y'all do, so why would you feed others before you feed your husband?
Okay.
You don't have to feed him. You can take his food out, take your kids' food out, take your guests' food out. But when you take your marriage vows, that's something sacred.
Okay.
And that's something you should live by.
right.
You feed your husband first because that's the king of your house. That's the man of your house, not your daughter,
Mhm.
not your sister. Nobody else should come before your husband or your wife.
Okay.
Well, my
Yeah.
husband is secure enough to know
That's
that
how
he's
I
the
look at
king,
it.
regardless
I'm
of
just
who's
sorry. I
first.
just don't see that.
Okay. So let me chime in a little bit, and I love that I opened up with this, which really highlights how there's so many
Right, but
different points of view
that's just a respect thing. I mean,
in this.
everybody's household is different.
I get it. So that highlights. So for me, as I see it, I was married before. I've been in relationships before. I've even been in that situation before. So for me, on the one hand, I agree with Legia if we're talking scriptural point of view. That if we're talking scriptural point of view, that you are supposed to cling to your mate. They're supposed to be number one. But here was my issue with it, that if you're going to bring in the scripture portion of it, you got to bring in all of it, because there's also scriptures that highlight honoring your mother and your father. So I felt like in this instance, when it comes to something like dinner, somebody's doing something, moving around with a lot of static
That's
in the
gonna say,
background.
like, if you're not talking, just please mute.
Yeah, somebody got some little stagger in the middle. So back to what I was saying, I felt like in this instance, when it came to something as simple as fixing dinner, I did not have a problem with the woman fixing her dad a plate, because from where I sit as a man, I thought it was actually respectful to honor her father that way. I wouldn't have a problem with it whatsoever. This is dinner. He's coming over. He's a guest in my home. And so I think somebody said it before, Candace, or I think you said as well. For me, my mindset is if you're a guest in my home, I'm gonna go above and beyond so that everybody there is comfortable. I live here. To your point, Daracel and Nadia, and I know I'm the king of the house. So I know that, for me, that this is my house. I don't need a gesture from me, like whether I eat first, to basically highlight that. I would be okay even eating out of a bowl, out of a spoon or whatnot, or something like that. And so for me, I thought that the husband went overboard and took it a little too far. But I get where you guys are coming from. I guess for me personally, it wouldn't bother me. But this was one of the first ones I wanted to bring up as the do's and don'ts, because as we set the stage for this is where we could see something as small as who eats first under this scenario could create a major issue in your relationship. And that's going to be a critical theme throughout as I go through this, because when I get to the end, you'll see where I'm going with this. So something as small as who eats first, and you didn't leave me any fork. Man, something as
Is
critical as that.
somebody typing? Sorry, like, you gotta stop that noise.
I don't. I don't know where that noise
Can
is coming
everybody just go on mute besides Black until you ready to talk?
from. So that's irritating him. So okay, now any of my viewers watching, please chime in. Give me your thoughts. As you're watching this show, if you're logging in, give me your thoughts. I want to know what you think. I'm going to read them on air. If you got any additional questions, throw those out there. If you got any additional situations, throw those out there. I want them. I welcome them. Okay. So we started out divided. Let's go to scenario number 2. Okay. And Terry, I stopped you short on scenario number 2 because I was going to it next. You've probably seen this as well as a meme on the video, where the husband pulls up, the wife is waiting, the mother's in the front seat. And in this particular meme, the wife and her friend are looking kind of pissed off, because the story goes that the husband's baby get in. In a real life situation, you got your mom, you've got your dad, one of your parents. You go pick them up. Let's create a real scenario. You're picking your parent up from the airport. Real
Right.
scenario. You're picking a parent up, mom or dad, from the airport, and then you guys are gonna go out to dinner. Real scenario. So you swing by the house to get your mate, male, female, and mom or dad is in the front seat, and you say, honey, get in, or baby, get in. Should the mother move and the wife or the mate ride up front? Vice versa. It could be the wife picking up her parent. Should the mate ride in the front seat and the parent get in the back seat? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Not necessarily. I
Hold,
mean,
hold
I,
on.
I don't. I
Okay.
personally don't mind. I sit in the back seat. It doesn't matter
Okay. So for you, why is that okay?
because I don't know if I honor people, mothers and fathers, and they're elderly. So I do it to my own mother. She getting in, I would ask her. She don't even like to sit in the front, but if she did, she'll be welcome to it. Like,
So hold on, let me call you out on something. Just the previous conversation,
Right.
because you know what I'm saying.
mm-hmm,
Because with that answer, you honor your mother.
mm-hmm.
Where's that same honor when it comes to feeding her first?
She can't eat
No,
first.
I mean
You
to be
ride.
honest with you,
You
Okay,
ride
so
them before
Terry,
the feet.
hold on, Terry. Sherry,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
joking. I'm sorry. I'm just joking.
Okay, no, I thought you was answering for yourself. Terry's right. She can't eat first, but she can ride first, is what you're saying.
yeah, she had to wait for my daughter to eat.
But she can ride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in your scenario, hold on. In your scenario, so you pull up, you got your mom, your daughter standing. You said your daughter comes first before everybody. Does mom have to move?
No, she don't. We don't have that situation. She don't
Why is riding different? Why is riding in a car different than feeding?
because I mean it's just a seat, so it doesn't matter where you sit, as long as you going or you getting there. As far as food, I gotta make sure my daughter's got her good nutrition in her at all times. Her father wanted that way, so he wouldn't want me to. He'd feed her before he feed me or feed himself. So this is what we always did. You know what I mean?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
And
Tasha,
let's say
you was gonna okay.
let one more thing to talk to you before you talk. Let's say she had friends over because she her only child. It'll always be said from my husband, "Oh, let's feed the kids first." Just nothing, nothing special, but that's just how it went. He wouldn't want to eat. He want to wait till everybody finish. Then he eat, like Candace said. You know what I'm saying?
I
But as
got you.
far
I
as
got
far as
you. No,
our
no.
mother,
That's what I said. We get it on the eating part. It's
uh,
just odd that you have a separate standard when it comes to riding versus
yes.
eating. But
Mhm.
that's
But as you
interesting.
know, as our mother, I would say, "Well, Mama, get in the front." No, I don't want to get in the front. So it don't matter though if she did or didn't. You know, I would prefer.
I get it. I get it. That's
I
your view.
think that she would be more comfortable in the front. But she
Okay.
knows.
Whatever your logic is, I get it. We get it. You have a separate standard for eating and riding.
Yeah,
Now for
that.
now for you, Tasha, now in this instance, in that scenario, what we ain't gonna do is disrespect our mama. Is that how you feel, or what works for you?
For me, if you don't get your ass in the car wherever there's an empty seat, sit down. Why do we have to play Chinese fire drill at the damn airport? Get in the damn car. Just get in. It does. How old are we? We're grown. Why? This is what bothers me is that people create issues where there's not a need to create an issue. Just just sit down. I never assume if there's three or more of people that I'm riding with that I'm gonna sit in the front seat. I'm just gonna go to the back seat. I can settle it for everybody. I'll just sit in the back seat. If I have to, I'll ride in the trunk. That's just me.
Okay.
Somebody
No.
sit down. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Anybody next for them? Do they feel any different?
I will say, when you are married and you come into a situation where there's a mother who may or may not like you, there is a hierarchy. And she tries to pull that card every single time. And part of that may be the front seat. If she's old and decrepit and she just really can't sit in the back seat, then I will give up. But I always expect to sit beside my husband wherever he's at. If he's in the front, I'm in the front.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
Hold on.
I,
So for you added an extra element in there. If the mom didn't you like you, we're talking about a situation where you and the mom get along great, so there's no issues.
Okay.
He just
He's
picks the
still in the back
mom up.
seat.
So for you,
He's still in the
she
back
still got
seat.
to get in the back seat.
I might need to kiss on his neck or rub on his leg, and you can't do that from the back seat. I need to be right up there with him.
so you ride in the front seat
would
with
his
him
mother car?
99% of the time, but the 1% his mother in there, you can't just stand and sit in the back.
Very good point.
No, and here's the thing about his mom. When we go somewhere together, she does not she does not want to sit in the front. She always says, "You go up there." She's like, "No, we're good. Sit back here." You try to be diplomatic, but or whatever, but she does not expect to sit up there because we're married. I mean, she understands it.
I
She would
love that.
expect to
So,
sit with
so
her
she's made
husband,
it easy
and
for
I would
you.
expect to sit with mine. Yeah.
In that instance, she's
She
made
does
it
not
easy
expect to
for
sit up
you.
there.
But what if she didn't want to move? What happens?
She's sitting in the back, or I'm not going.
Problem. I gotta agree with Tasha on this one. Hey, it's a seat, man. Sit down and chill out. It's not
We
that
ain't
big of
even
a
going
deal.
that
You
far.
get to the
It's
same
not. It's
destination,
more.
man. Like,
It's
who
more to
cares?
it than that. It's more to it than that. It really is. It's more to it than just being a seat. When you marry, when you're in a relationship, it is. Some moms be trying to pull that card. They want to show that they got power, and they don't. So it's
I,
more than a seat.
I have a mother-in-law like that. And
See?
I'm still respectful. I let her play the little games that she play. If it happens, if something like that happens, I let her do that. But I'm still gonna be respectful and let her sit in the front or whatever. Because for me, it's not that serious. And then I don't want to be feeling on my husband with my mother in the car.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. She know how
Okay.
the kids got here.
Okay. Legia, anything you want to add? Legia, anything you want to add?
Wait a minute.
You still on mute, baby. You still on mute. Unmute.
I think she got a slow connection.
Okay. Give her a moment. This is while we waiting on Legia. This is again very interesting. We can see you moving, Legia. We waiting on for you to unmute, sweetheart.
Okay,
Yeah.
while we waiting on her to unmute, what about you, Freddie? If that was
Oh.
you, would you would you
Uh,
feed your wife first, or your kids first, or
No, already answered that. For me, I didn't have a problem in the world with. I wouldn't have a problem in the world if my wife feeds her dad first. That actually, for me, would endear me more towards her. I'm turned on if she shows her parents a level of respect. That's her dad. That's her mom.
okay? What about the
She
car?
when she's not here. If I married her, in my mind, they've done a good job presenting her to me, and I don't have a problem with that. Okay, I'll get to my car in a second. Ladia, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Okay, so what you want to add
I
about the car
feel
scenario?
if look, my honey's sitting right here, so I asked him. He said she better get in the back. But my thing is, if I'm at the if Mama is at the airport and we go to pick her up, I'm gonna get
Right.
out the front seat so she can get in the front seat. Because to me, that's a respect thing. But if I'm already in the front and she say, no, 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 you can sit there, I'll get in the back. That's how I look at it.
I
I
like
just feel
that.
that
Okay.
respect my
good
mama.
for y'all.
Let
Low
mama get
key.
in the front seat. I'll get
Okay.
out to my mama. Now,
Be
but the
careful.
kids and stuff, y'all better keep y'all ass back there. Let
That's
mom,
Be
me. That's me. Lagia, I agree with you 1,000%.
let nobody.
for all those women who refuse to sit in the back seat now. When you get older,
Yeah,
you're gonna
because
be in the
I
back
want
seat.
to fight this girl.
And that's fine. My son, when he has a girlfriend, I would not expect to sit beside him. I would expect his wife, his girlfriend, to be up there with him. I don't have a problem with that. I've had my time in the front seat. I'll take my time in the back seat when he gets
I,
older.
I
I
hear you.
love us. I love a self-aware woman that she knows at least that. Hey, so to Sherry, to answer that question for you, for me, if I go pick my mom up and I'm coming home to pick up my girlfriend, my wife, for me it would be a no-brainer that she'd get in the back seat. Y'all want an honest answer? If my wife made an
Mhm.
issue out of it like that, we're gonna have problems later on that night because I would think that that's
Her
selfish.
ass walking.
You know,
She getting
I
out.
wouldn't go that far, but I would have a conversation like, maybe it wasn't really that serious,
She
and
walking.
again, it's my mother. And now having said that, it's because I'm gonna show her mother that same level of respect. I can remember scenarios where when my wife's mother would come over, you guys have the house, do whatever. I'm relegated to a back room because I want you to show your mom, your dad, the ultimate level of respect. That even extends from me to aunts and uncles. It's for me, it's just a respect thing. And I could even be older that for me, it's a respect thing that I want to put them up front. Now, like you said, Daracel or somebody, if they don't want, a lot of older people, they don't, like you said, Sherry, mama wouldn't want to ride in the front. So that makes it a lot simpler. But if you notice, I always actually say, well, mama, get in the front. My mind is thinking, I want you to be as comfortable as you possibly can be. And that for me, it's not that important for me to be up front, you know. That's for me. So scenario number 2. Okay. We're gonna move to scenario number 3, guys. Okay. This was one that was given to me by a friend, and he said this is a hot one. Okay. You're in a relationship. Now, we all know that your significant other, they had a life before you.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, they had friends of the opposite sex. Now, where do you stand on this scenario to where we're not talking about random associates, but I'm talking about if this is your mate's good friend, I'm gonna go even further. It's their best friend, one of their closest best friends of the opposite sex, and they're close. In fact, that friend has been there before you was there. I'm giving a scenario for you. So now you're married, you're dating, you're serious, and I want to put pre in a situation. The friend calls one night. I need you to come over to help me do, let's say if they have an emergency, can you take me to the hospital? Where are you at with your mate having a friend of the opposite sex and doing stuff for that friend without you there? Where are you at in that?
No.
Sherry's already shaking her
No.
head. Daracel
I
said
know.
no.
It's a no. It's a no for me. But let me say this: I have a male best friend that Kennard has learned to like. He became friends with him, and we were friends prior to me and Kennard being married. And he's my best friend. So Kennard has to when we talk on the phone, we keep it respectful. He doesn't call me after 9 o'clock. But as for him calling me saying he needs to go somewhere, me as the person in the situation, no, I'm not taking you nowhere. You're gonna have to call whoever.
No, this is an emergency. Let's say it's an emergency. You're his. You just said this is your best friend. You
So,
just
well, the
said
thing
this
about
is your best friend.
so let's say if he didn't have, because he has a wife as well. So if his wife
But,
wasn't
but, but,
there,
but we, that's what I'm saying. No, for whatever
I'll
reason,
say this:
he needs
if
you.
he has to go to the emergency, I would want Kennard to come with me.
Okay,
I can't have
okay.
Kennard come along with me to the situation.
I know this is how you would handle it. I'm loving it. I'm
But
loving
I
it.
mean,
However you would handle it.
I guess Kennard will have to answer that. I don't know. I think
No,
he
no,
trusts
no.
me
Because
enough
I
to
would
know.
ask him the same thing. I would ask
Now,
him the same thing.
his female friends, I can't say that I would trust him because the ones that I found out about, he had sex with them. So I don't. They weren't platonic friends. I've never had sex with my male best friend. So
Right.
If I got
Okay, okay.
to
I
explain to me,
I'll go.
Come on,
I
Tasha.
I wouldn't care. That's just my thing. If it's
would you ever fuck
genuinely
me
an
on the bill?
emergency,
You gonna go?
go ahead, help her out. No, if you want me to go with you, I will. But if it's something genuine, like I need you and only you can help me at this time, please go help this girl. Whatever it is, please go help her, and vice versa. I have two best friends that I would say. I have Black and I have my friend Gina. And for me, those two hold a very high value in my life. So if you come into my life and you tell me that you can't get along with I don't think that we need to be together because those are two of the most likable people. And that for me would cause concern to me because it says a lot about that person. And
Mhm.
especially if it's someone
Mm-hmm.
that I've been friends with for so long, over 10 years, and you would feel threatened by that, I'm really looking at you sideways now like that's that's not okay. But we also have a different definition of friendship. As you and I both, we have a different definition, and some people they're not able to handle that, and their definitions are far different.
Okay.
I guess it
Okay.
would depends on, like she just said, the definition of y'all friendship. Because all right, it's cool for y'all to be friends and everything, but now that your man, your male friend, y'all got to redefine your role. If you put that much value in him, just holding him on to like every aspect of your life, then what you need me for? Like, go on date him. So
Go
yeah, they
ahead,
can still be
Terry.
friends. It ain't nothing wrong with them being friends. Like, just because I come into your life, you don't have to remove your friends. I think that is stupid. But like, yeah,
Right.
y'all roles. Like, if y'all hang out all the time, talk all the time, kind of like Candace said, ain't no talking out the nine. Some of those intimate conversations y'all had, that ain't gonna happen no more. And likewise, if I had a female friend, it would be the same thing. You know.
Hmm.
All right. All right. Well said. Well said, Terry. Come on in there. Come on in here, Daracel.
So I actually, this was one of the things that me and Steve talked about prior to the show because I was like, "What's the one thing that is your, do not in our relationship?" He said, "Well, I wish you didn't have so many male friends." And I was like, well, it is what it is. We ain't changing that. So there we go. But on the flip side, like he knows all of them. He's gotten to the point where he don't get upset or he's kind of just chill all the way across. But on the flip side, he doesn't have any female friends.
I was gonna
So
ask that. I was gonna ask that. How would you? Okay, let's say. So this is a little different because he don't have any. What if he developed a friendship? So this would obviously be a new friendship. What if he
mhm.
developed a friendship with somebody new? He hit it off with some lady at work, and they just good friends. He like her company, whatever. How comfortable would you be if, hey, Steve, can you come over to, help me do something? Let's say she doesn't have any males. How comfortable would you be?
No, why the hell you need my husband? You better get you a boyfriend, a friend, a Uber driver, somebody, a Mr. Fix It to come. No, he ain't going.
No new friends. No new
No new,
friends.
thank you. No new
No
No
new
friends.
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 You
No
see,
They
new
all
my
come
friends.
from
my husband has
hypocritical.
new
Wow.
my husband has new
Wow.
friends. But
Wow.
he's not
No,
going over their house to help.
because first of all, like, why? Knowing that he's married, why are you pushing up on him trying to be a friend anyway? He got a friend in me. He don't need you.
Daracel.
But you're not
Daracel.
jealous of the male friends.
Daracel, really?
That don't make
No,
sense.
That's
I
Just a
feel
right.
friend
like
is a
this.
friend.
Like look
You
at
don't
me
need no
and
friends.
me.
You got
We
me.
worked together and became friends in that aspect.
Wow. Wow.
Hypocritical. Cake and eat it too.
No, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Terry.
You want
Yes,
the
thank
cake
you,
and
Terry.
eat it
I
too.
would
Men,
do.
men out there watching this, please listen to what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying because you can learn a lot. Yes, Sherry, come on in here. Where do you stand?
You already know, brother. He don't got no
He's so
women friends, but you already know he ain't gonna be having no woman friends. And
mm.
then
No.
you said that she would call and say she needs for him to take. First of all his needs is for me. I'm gonna stop all that from the gate. I don't got time.
Thank you. She gonna be
And
butt booty naked, holding a
Hold
screwdriver, talking
on.
about
you
fix
know,
this.
I do
No, we
have a
ain't
lot
doing
of
that.
male friends.
That's where I was going with this. You have male friends.
I have a lot of male friends, but the male friends that I have, I let them be respectful and them what it is from the gate of my husband. If they can't respect him, then man, you can't be friends.
So,
Tell them that
so
from the
question. So
gate.
with that male friend, what are some of the do's and the don'ts that you set as standard for that male friend respecting your husband? What are some of those do's and don'ts?
First, the don't is don't ever call me anyway. I don't even like them calling me because I think it's not respectful me having a husband and I'm called. They calling my phone. So don't
Don't
call me
hold
at
on.
all.
They don't ever call you.
No, they don't call me.
That's weird.
I will call you when I need you to do something or whatever. I don't call me for nothing.
So we're
I
not
don't want to call
friends.
me.
We're associates.
They
Right.
don't
You
call
can't.
me.
I know you can't be my friend. I'm
I can't
grown.
call you.
Right. How come they
I
can't
can't call
call
you.
Like,
We
yeah,
you?
ain't
just don't
friends.
call me.
Because I
How come
tell
they
them from
can't?
the gate. I tell them from the gate. I got a husband. You understand that it doesn't look right. So I'm not gonna be disrespecting him having you calling my phone. They be understanding this, so you don't understand. And
That's
I
So
tell
kind of
them
hold
that.
on.
shady.
Oh,
I'd be
so
scared.
what? So under since they're a friend of yours, under what circumstances do you call them? What would be the reason you would call them then?
I might call them if I want them to go buy me a bag of smoke, or if I'm when I had to shop, I might call them if I need them to do something in the shop, fix something, whatever. and they'll call me. You know what I'm saying, then they'll be
That's
like, okay.
weird. Why they even got your number? They can't call you, but you call them.
No, I'm saying to be honest with you, they who said they had my number?
Oh,
There's
Oh
no
well,
need for you
uh,
to have no
I'd be
number.
scared. It's like, what kind of male friends you got where they can't call you and they all secretive?
Nephew, you already seen that.
Yeah.
You came up to the shop. You know how I
Oh,
do
auntie,
that.
I trust you. I mean,
No, I'm saying you know how
I
I am. When
yes,
it comes
ma'am.
to Tony,
I
that's
I,
why you had to
I
laugh.
love my
Don't
sister.
worry.
See, I get checked. I
He
gotta chill
ain't gonna
out.
be big. He don't have no women friend.
That's you.
It's no.
Yeah.
I'm your listen. I'm his friend, his teacher, his lawyer. Everything the fuck he need, I got. Excuse my language, y'all, but that's all
I,
he
I
need. I'm the friend.
That's right.
I love my sister, and I love my families in New York. But anybody who knows me, that's why I couldn't date anybody or marry anybody from up north. Ain't no freaking way. Ain't no freaking way. Ladia, get in here at the end of this conversation. Where do you stand on friends of the opposite sex? Because your man's sitting right there.
Oh, be careful. Careful, girl.
Cause
I do.
hold on, cause
Don't reveal
go
too
ahead,
much.
go ahead.
Well, he said if a female called him, I said, "Hey, I know you ain't going no damn place." But he said if a guy called me and they stranded and they need help, we both going. I'm not
Mm.
gonna go by myself. But he
Mm.
ain't going at all.
Okay, okay, all right,
I should
audience.
wait. I should explain this for the ladies. I'll explain. We have a lot more self control than you guys. So if we're going to assist, that's all it's gonna be. It ain't gonna be no funny business. Don't be sugar. What?
Yeah, I got more self control.
How do
We
you
can wait. We'll wait.
More
Days,
self
weeks, years.
control. We can
uh,
go take you to the
viewers?
ER, drop you off, and leave you. Y'all gotta stay. She all bent over. You might do a little more than fix the scene. So yeah, that's why.
For me, it really depends on the extent of their relationship. That's really what's going to matter. If this is somebody who was there long before I was, I understand. I'm not even going to try to break that bond, whatever it is, that person on the bond. But
Tasha,
if
your
it's some,
volume is going in and out.
But
oh,
he
I
don't
think
know
your
who
mic.
those
um,
friends are.
I'm not doing anything. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
going in
But
and
they
out a
should
little
know
bit.
who those
I
friends
guess
are at the
for
beginning of y'all relationship.
Okay,
for
okay,
me, if it's my husband, I'm going to. I'm sorry. I'm going
okay,
to.
okay.
Mine ain't
So
going.
let me see. One, two, three, four.
I'm
Four
getting
women on
Mr.
this
Straight
panel
in
know me. Now, four women on this panel know me. So I have always had female friends. G. Paul,
it.
you know that this is a double standard here. Daracel said they got more
Mhm.
willpower than us than we do. So I've always had female friends, and I've always felt like I'm not going to end my friendship just because I'm in a relationship. And I agree with a lot of some of what's been said in the sense that there are rules. I'm respectful in terms of, like you said, Candace. There's a time limit to call. There's do's and don'ts when it comes to what's respectful, and that goes on both sides. In terms of the topic, what you ain't gonna do, you ain't gonna have no guy calling you after 10 o'clock. And I'm pretty liberal. You said 9. I'm pretty liberal. I give you the 10 o'clock. And in fact, I ain't listening to your phone call. I'm not even concerned if you get up and go have a conversation in the back room. I figure it's your friend. I don't give a shit who's calling you. Y'all can talk about whatever you need to. That's okay. That doesn't bother me. I'm even okay if it's your friend and hey, Johnny needs me to come help do X, Y, and Z. I'm of the mindset that I don't have time to be running behind you. I'm going to trust you. Matter of fact, I'm a person that I'm going to give you enough rope because if that's your intention, to do something, then I'm not going to stand in your way anyway and I ain't got time to be running behind you and stuff like that. Now, Daracel, Lagia, Candice, Sherry, if I got to go do something for my female friend, you can't come all the time. You just
Why?
going to have to trust me. You
Why? I'm
just going to
dressed.
have to
I
trust
done
me.
took my bonnet off. I'm ready. Why
You
I
just
can't
gonna
go?
have to trust because now I'm gonna feel like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, but you said you can't come all the time. I wouldn't be wanting to come all the time. You ain't
Thank
gonna
I'm
you.
be going
coming. I'm
anymore.
sorry. I'm
No,
coming.
Darcel said she
you're not gonna.
coming.
Or you
Well,
can't go.
no, I was about to say, well, he won't be going, but I don't feel like going.
Uh Minority investor says his girl can't have close female friends. You got to explain that.
Yeah, just got to put it up. I meant to say male friends. Yeah, I corrected it
Okay,
2021.
later.
Oh,
okay,
Yeah,
oh shit! I thought it was
okay,
2021. Where y'all
now
living
okay,
now?
okay. Even
Making
still,
it
so you
easy.
saying you can't have close male friends? Really? Why?
Why?
because I'm a man and I know how all men are. You can sit here and lie to my face. I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. Eventually, we're going to have that intimate conversation with you. We're going to ask you some private questions and you might just blow it off. But we're always going to go there. And so, yeah, for that reason, you do not need a male friend.
Well, I'll say this, Black. I wanted to say this. He's my friend, and I brought my husband into the situation, and Black has always been respectful with me. So
Right.
I
But
don't agree with that. Not everybody's motive is to have sex, and as a woman, it's I have the control to be like, hey, you're getting a little disrespectful. I'll cut it off if the guy does. That's what I can do.
I think a lot of men are friends with women to have sex with them, and they keep the boundary based on what the woman wants. If I ever was it to go for a male friend, they probably would be like, "Yeah, let's try it out." So, I mean, I
Of
think
course.
the women set the boundary for what happens in that friendship. If as long as you keep it friendship, then they're cool with being friends. But if you
Hey,
say, "Hey, let's take it to the next level," he probably would be ready to go there. He just
Let me
hey,
waiting
answer that.
on
Natalie,
Let
I
me answer
feel
that.
like
Let me answer that. Let me answer that because again, friend. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me answer that, and I want to be serious about you because uh, three of you have seen all of the dirt and shit that I've done. Y'all know how I get down. You know how I get down. Candace, you're a new friend. Having said that, for me, once you cross over into the friend zone, I don't even see you like that anymore. I just don't. Keeping it real, I've seen all of you guys in precarious situations. Believe it or not, I didn't think to myself to take advantage of the situation because here's my thing. When I first meet somebody, there's a small window for me. Actually, once you cross over to the friend zone, I don't see you in that way anymore. Now, when I first meet you, each and every last one of you, so I'm not gonna kid you on that point. Darcel, when I first met you, working for me, I got called up front. I was the dog in the store that they said, Freddie, you need to come look at this woman. I was like, oh my God, yes. Tasha, the first night you came over, yes, I was thinking, hey, I might could do something with this. Ladia, meet you in the club, yes. But here's the thing: the moment you cross over into the friend zone, for me, honestly, I can relax now because I can take off the table any sexual tension. And now y'all have heard me say some of the worst shit in the world. Y'all know how I talk about women, how I think about women, how I have treated women. I'm trying to do better, God. But anyway, y'all know that
Pray
once you
longer
cross
than that.
over, I've done better, Darcel, and I've gotten better. But once you cross over to that friend zone, so believe it or not, and I'm speaking up for guys in this case, not every guy is wanting to take advantage of the situation. You could be beautiful, you could be attractive, but my thing is at that point where you're in the, believe it or not, where you're in the friend zone, it's like, okay, I don't see you like that. And so if I went to do something for a friend, that's not on my brain. Who you should be worried about with me, and I'm going to say with some guys, is that woman that don't have anything, any connection, because that where is the danger zone comes in. Now stupid men sleep with friends and put themselves at risk where they're going to get caught and things like that. That's too messy for me. And I've always had this expression. I said, you don't shit where you eat. Now, if I go out of town and I can make up a fake name, take my wedding band off when I was married, or tell whatever good lies I can tell, I'm a free entity. But in my own yard where people know me, it's too risky. It's too much work to come across, and so it's that stranger. So now, if I meet a new friend, as I said, that might be a dangerous situation. But if it's an old established friend, it's just a friend for me.
Well, you're the rarity.
Yeah, it
Wow.
is rare because you keep
Wow.
saying friend. I think more like associates, maybe because like as a friend, like we're from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So the person I started like kindergarten with, I graduated with them. So we are
Mhm.
friends, and I don't see my classmates like that.
That's what I'm
Um,
talking about.
but I mean, you got to be realistic. Like if you lock me in a cell with a man, it's a 0% chance we're gonna have sex. If you lock me in there with my best friend, hey, the
Never.
odds increase.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna
Somebody's
give you
gonna
that.
get
So
sick.
I'm gonna give you that. So I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. But now you're talking about extenuating circumstances. But like you said, Terry, from way back, when I look at him, we might joke and everything, but I just don't see him in that way. But that's to your point, Tasha. How we define friends
Yeah.
might
Mhm.
be different because
Different.
Yeah.
that may be Sherry. You trying to come on twice?
Lee, I was going to
Oh.
Lee, I was going to say this. I agree with Darren Till. It's the boundaries that you set though, as the person.
Mhm.
'Cause
Who's
it's
Absolutely,
definitely the boundaries.
absolutely,
I
and I
agree with D with
and I
that.
applauded that point when you said that, Candace. I applauded that point because in this instance, I think it's up to the person to define what the standards are. So
yeah.
again, I'm going to trust my woman. If I gotta tell, here's my thing. That's why I applauded that point. If I gotta tell you how to define your relationship with that friend, we're probably gonna have a problem
Yep.
because I feel like you know me well enough that when you meet that male friend, I should never have to say to you, baby, he shouldn't be calling here after 10 o'clock. You
Mhm.
should know me well enough to say, hey, don't disrespect the marriage. So look, that's an improper time to call because guess what? I'm going to tell my female friends, Tasha can vouch me on this. When she was in her relationship, Tasha, did I ever call you late?
No, never.
If I called and it was early and your boyfriend was there, what did I say?
Go ahead and do that, sweetheart. I'll talk to you later. I didn't want anything.
We're just friends. It's not. You know what I'm saying. I never wanted to put myself in a position where her boyfriend, where he could even think that there's anything else going on. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the person. That's why I applauded what you said, Candace. It's up to you to define those standards, those do's and don'ts, because I'm gonna trust you to do that. So that's why I love that point that you made. You know, anybody want to add anything before I go to scenario number 4?
No, I just see Candace over there drinking wine, smoking a hookah, and I'm like, damn, I'm jealous.
I do wish I had some hookah.
I'm seeing that
I
smoke,
really,
I'm jealous.
really do. I really, really do.
Sorry.
No, it's all
I'm gonna
good.
have to buy me one of those.
I'll
I'm gonna
be
have to buy me
prepared
one of those.
next week. I'll be
I'm gonna
prepared.
have to buy me one of those. All right, let's go to the next scenario. And this one is everybody can't connect directly to this one, but Terry, this one ought to be dear to you.
Okay.
Where do you stand on parenting a non-biological child? So let's present a situation. I told you to present these situations. You're the non-custodial parent. Your child is living in another household. It's a couple. They're married together, serious. We're going to make it serious because automatically off the top, I understand if this is just some casual new person. But this is an established relationship, even if they ain't married, but they've been together. Now, your child acts a damn fool in school, gets poor grades, and I'm talking about curse the teacher out, whatnot. Now they need a whooping. No, let me take that off. Whooping's too harsh. They just need some form of discipline. I'm looking at your face, Terry.
Yeah,
Some
most
form
definitely.
of discipline. Where do you stand? Where the non-custodial parent, and in your case, Terry, as a man, this would be another man. Remember, he's the head of the house. We say establish that at
Mhm.
the beginning, and
Yeah.
he's going to discipline your child. We're not talking about whipping. Let's say that, but
Okay.
take privileges away and chastise your child. Where do you stand? I see Candace shaking her head.
Let
Well,
me just say this. I don't think a man should be disciplining a daughter. But as for,
Whoa!
I
Please
don't
go
think
ahead.
so.
I
I don't
agree.
think so. I don't want, like, let's say if I had a daughter that was not by Kennard, I want to handle my daughters. I'm sorry, I'm just like that. Now, as for my son's father basically has allowed my husband to step up as a father and discipline him. So, but my husband is so afraid to kind of do it. I end up doing it myself. Um, but yeah, I don't want another man disciplining my daughter. I'm gonna just say that right now.
I agree with
Why? Well,
her
hold on,
because
hold on, hold on. Before she go, Terry, why? What's the difference between why would you not want a man to discipline your daughter? What's wrong with that? Oh, she froze.
she back.
It's
Okay.
unfroze.
Candace, what's the problem with the man
I'm back
disciplining a
now. My
daughter?
connection is back.
Okay. What's the problem with the man disciplining a daughter?
Mm. No, I just feel like, I mean, I can handle it. I'm a woman, and so I will handle my daughter. I do not want a man. I guess I'm not even gonna say from my childhood, from my past. I trust me only disciplining my daughters. But as for my son, with me being there, yes, I want my husband to be the example for my son. And if my husband can discipline him, now I'm not saying by whooping him. Can y'all see me? Because I feel like I'm frozen.
Yeah, we can see you.
I feel like with a man, in my husband's tone, my son respects him just by what he says. And so sometimes with another man in the house, because my husband is the man of the house, that's needed in order for my son to follow what's going on. He doesn't necessarily have to whoop him, but he needs to teach him structure. But as
Right.
a woman, let me handle my daughter.
Okay.
So even Kennard, Candace, and I'm so sorry, I don't mean to interrupt anyone, but even your own husband, you don't want any man disciplining your daughter.
Yeah, well, Kanar is their father. I have two daughters, and Kanar is their father. But
So
if it was another man that was coming into the picture, like it takes a lot of trust. And I'm sorry, in our community, it's so much that happens at times. I just don't trust it right now, and that's just me. So no,
That's
I'm
fair.
gonna.
That's fair. That's why I wanted to hear this. That's fair. Terry, jump in there.
Yeah, I think it's good that you rephrase it and say maybe chastise her because if you put
Right.
his hands on
Right.
her, that'd be the
Right.
last person he
That's
put his hands
that's
on.
why I took that off. And I get that. Okay. So
But
what are you
like,
saying? Okay.
I mean, I understand that that's his household and he has certain rules, but like, don't even chastise her. Like, the worst you could probably say is like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell your father. He gonna talk to her." You know, that's because you're not responsible for bringing that child into this world. So
Okay.
that's not your responsibility, especially if that parent is still in their life. You know, so I like to use myself as an example. I have joint custody of my child. So if there's an issue, let her mom take care of it, and if there's a bigger issue, I'll take care of it when she's with me. Like, Ninja, don't you get involved. You worry about your own. Yeah.
All right now.
So
All
And I'm
I
right
one
have
of
a
now.
those parents.
follow-up
If my
question
child
for
get
Terry.
older, if he got out of line, I would tell her, yeah, you ain't gotta listen to that dude. If it's a problem, you come stay with daddy. That's what I'm here for.
Wow. Wow.
I have a
I
question for
definitely agree with
Terry.
that.
Okay. Go ahead, Tasha. You have a
My
question.
question for Terry is you decide that you want to get married, you meet someone, you all get married. Does the wife have a right to discipline the daughter?
Hell to the no. That's not her child. You know,
Wow.
even though me and her mom don't get along, she brought her into this world, so she's responsible for discipline her. My current wife, a new wife, if we have a child, you discipline her. But to avoid confusion, any problem, just don't put your hand on somebody else's child.
I respect your consistency. I respect your consistency. Okay. Sherry, I'm looking at the look on your face. Come on in here. What
Oh,
are you saying?
you already know. My daughter is 31 years old, and no, her father never beat her. No man, I could get married 5 times. We will beat you together. No, you're not putting your hands on my daughter. Oh hell no. You know how I
Okay.
be.
Okay. So hold on. So Tasha brought the perfect scenario up. So the shoe's on the other foot, and now you have to discipline somebody other kids. So I'm going to put you in a situation, that I happen to know about. At one point, you was raising another man's children. I know for a fact you disciplined them.
I sure did, because that's why I tell people from the beginning. When right now, if a friend bring, like when she want to bring her kids over. Say for instance, I tell her, listen, if you don't want them to get a whooping if they do something, don't leave them with me.
So it's her choice. See, I let the person, I make the choice that I don't want nobody to put their hands on my daughter. I don't want to hear nothing, no nothing. And she grown. She's 31. But if I have somebody kids, little kids, I tell them, listen, if you don't want them to get whooped, you already know I whoops if they do something. So if you don't want them to get whooped, don't leave them with me because then we're gonna have a problem. So I tell them
Okay.
from the beginning.
I respect that you know it's hypocritical, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
telling them up
But
front.
you see Candace, what Candace say? See, I understand her. Girls is different. You know, you don't want you ain't gonna let nobody just beat up on a boy either. But I'm just saying you're a little more lenient with a boy. You understand? But girls, I just don't see it, especially on
Okay.
men, because they could don't know their strength and
Okay.
hit her. Let's say they whop on her leg or something, and then
Okay.
next you know she limping. See, I
Okay.
can't even see that because now I
Okay.
gotta beat you up. You ain't gonna be with me no more. It's gonna be a problem. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Lachia, come on in here, baby. Come on in here. Where you stand?
I I don't see. I I got a daughter, and if she cut up, and that man who is with me, if he have to discipline her because he taking care of her, he making sure food on the table and everything, he can discipline her because if I'm good enough to take care of you, I should be good enough to discipline you. As a way that you whoop children, you don't have to beat them to kill them. I can yell, like I can yell at any one of mine and make them
Right.
cry. So
Right.
it just, to me, it depends on the people. And
Well, everybody's
you've been in
different.
my house, you see. Right, that's what
Absolutely.
I'm saying. It
Absolutely.
depends on the people.
Absolutely.
Everybody's
I
different, but
just don't.
some women and men go through a bunch of relationships. So every time you get in a relationship, the new person gets to discipline your child.
No, no.
No,
Terry, I agree
this
with you on that.
this is an assumption of marriage though,
No,
not
Right,
jumping in and
right,
out of
right. That's
Oh,
why.
okay.
relationships.
That's why I was saying when I talk. That's why I said at the beginning. We're not talking about the coming and goings ones, but a stable
right,
relationship.
I got
You
you.
know.
Sorry.
So that's
right,
what I'm saying. Okay. So
right. I can buy
Lachia.
your clothes, your food, and everything, and then you cut up in school. But then I got to call your daddy, and not the man who in the house taking care of you, making sure you got what you got. No, he can discipline her. But I mean, my daughter never give me no problem. But them boys,
Okay.
that's a different whole subject.
Okay. All right.
I
Uh,
discipline them boys because he don't want to hit another man's child. He didn't want to,
okay.
hit
Okay.
my children. But if they
Okay.
need it and he is there, then yeah, he gonna discipline them.
Okay. Okay. Tasha, come on in here with your opinion.
Oh, this is just reiterated to me. I will never date a man with children. I will not do it. That's all this is reiterated to me.
That's
Never.
why. That's
Because
why I married my.
I would never. Because for me, if we're in a committed relationship, and this little bitch or this little bastard is being disrespectful to me, best believe I'm gonna lay hands. Not beating, but I am gonna put my hands on it. You will get a whooping. And I'll say this, it's because of how I was raised. I was raised by my dad
Oh
and my
God.
stepmom. They've been together for over 20 years. You best believe I got backhanded by my stepmom. I got hella whoopings, not just by my dad, but by my stepmom. But that's came to be expected. But he made it very clear in the beginning of his marriage. This is my wife. You will respect my wife, and you better not ever utter those words. You're not my mother because you will get hit in the face by him. No, mm-mm. This honestly highlights a lot of problems and why I see so many problems in the black community. And I don't want to offend anybody. Let me just I'm not trying to be offensive.
No,
I'm just
No,
like,
because I'm going
I
there.
agree with you,
but
No, I'm
Tasha.
going there
Your
too. Because I'm
Tasha,
but
going there
your
too.
father set the boundaries, and that's the
Because I'm
thing.
going
Just
there
for
too,
me
Tasha.
to say
You ain't
that to
said
my
nothing
son.
offensive. What I love about this is real. This is real
yeah.
conversation. Daracel, come on in here. I know you might have missed some of it.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on disciplining children from a non-biological parent?
I like before I had children, I never dated guys with children because it comes with a lot of drama. And one of, this is a big thing. How do you discipline somebody else's child? Now, I don't believe in hitting children, period. So my discipline techniques are a little bit different. So when you talk about timeout and taking things away, that's a little bit different than like
And
physically
I actually took the
disciplining.
physical
Right.
out of it anyway. But
Oh, okay.
but it came up anyway because I said the hitting part I could see. So we're talking about just discipline.
I think discipline's okay as long as it's not physical. Like I've never hit my nieces, my nephews. I just
Okay.
don't believe that that's the way
Okay.
that you have to discipline children. I think there's
Okay.
other
Two
ways,
chops to the
but
throat. Boom.
no,
Okay. Okay.
no,
Okay.
because
I,
I mean, it really does. It stars children. It makes them, instead of respecting you, it makes them afraid of you. And I don't think that's the goal that we're trying to achieve. We want respect, but sometimes we don't know how to get it. And a lot of that abuse and hitting our children, it comes from slavery, the way that we were disciplined back in the day. And that's not what we should be carrying over. We should be trying to create new ways and new things now. There is a lot of problems with kids now, the way that they act out and things like that. But these kids aren't getting any kind of this. We're not talking about kids that are getting, some form. We're talking about kids that are just running wild. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
no.
So my
Well,
mom
I
was wrong for whooping
mhm.
me with an extension cord. Is what you're saying?
Yes, very much. Yes.
I got it all.
and to be clear, long as it's not physical,
No,
you'd be
that means
okay
that
with a
means that I'm not going
non-custodial
to do it.
parent disciplining.
That means that
Yeah,
I'm
I'm okay with
Okay.
timeout. I'm okay with taking things
Okay.
away. I'm okay with,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I have a
So
question. I
shoot.
just want to ask the parents on here. How do y'all, if y'all don't do the physical, popping them in the mouth, how do you deal with a child getting smart with you? What do you do?
Well,
Because
first
to
of
me,
all,
honestly, the first instinct is to bow. Like,
for me,
what do y'all do?
my son, I let him know like, hey, this is my house. I pay these bills. So a lot of times he's more hurt for me taking his little Minecraft game versus whooping him. When I
I
whoop him,
know,
he's like,
right?
oh, I got it over with. Let me go back to doing what I was doing. But no, with me taking away things and deciding when I'll give them back, that hurts him even more.
Hmm.
Lagia, you had three boys. So what was your form of discipline for your boys when they got smart and got out of line?
Oh,
Oh, we
shit.
lost
Okay.
it.
Well, my daughter's only 8 and she'll be 9 soon, and maybe I'm
Okay.
lucky, but so far she doesn't do anything.
Right.
I never really whooped her, So
Okay.
You
you
ain't got
just
that
get,
teenage girl yet. Wait till puberty
yeah,
hit.
I got like
Woo!
3 more years,
That's
and
fast
that's a
too. I
different
know.
story. But like right now, yeah, I don't whoop her. I mean, I might tap her or like give her a strong lick.
y'all
Really,
can
when
hear
I
me?
raise my voice, she gets
We hear
nervous
you.
and scared. When I raise my voice, that's all it takes.
I
Because I
love
don't
Right.
raise
that.
my voice that
Okay.
often, so when I do, she
Mhm.
know I'm serious.
Okay. Lagia,
Gotcha.
you was about to answer. You have
Yep.
boys that when they got out of line and got rambunctious, what was
I
your
tore
form?
their asses up.
All right,
I
legit.
did
That's what
not
I'm talking
play with
about.
them. And I can honestly say my boys has never been in trouble with the law. One of my sons is a police officer, one got his own cell phone store, and one is a cook. So I bust their ass every chance I got because if I didn't do it, the law was gonna do it. So who y'all want to do it?
Okay, let me get in here. Let me get in here and jump in. Audience listening to this, please give me your view. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? You don't disagree? So, oh man, this is a lot to unpack.
Mhm.
Now, I was raised in an environment where there was no dad. And my mom's a little short woman, Eloise Young. She whooped ass. She whooped ass old fashioned style.
Yeah, he
Uh,
ain't probably getting no beatings.
Extension cords. Now, and me, I got beat less than any of them, to be honest with you. But Sherry can't. I got my share. I got beat with extension cord in the shower, butt naked. Covers
Mm.
coming back, being whooped and whopped. When you wet. I got beat, and my got hit with mop because when I got big enough, I got taller than her, got hit with the mop stick. I had somebody's foot on my neck. Now, Darcel, you said it makes you fear woman, fear the person, fear. I agree with you in this sense.
Hmm.
When it's done and it's not done out of love, which there is in lies a lot of problems I think we have with our community of this newer generation. Every whooping I got, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had done something. I can't honestly sit here and tell you that she just beat me for no reason. And I can
Hmm.
honestly sit here and tell you
What if
too, I can sit here and tell you to Lagia's point, for my mother to raise 11 kids, nobody. Now, whatever we got into as adults, that was what we got into as adults. But her raising us, getting us to the point where we were grown, nobody was in jail, nobody did drugs. We needed all of those beatings. And I personally believe that a part of what's happening with crime for young people is there is no discipline at home. So I'm not saying, to your point, Daracel, that we need to go back to beating kids with sticks and extension cords. I'm not saying that. I do think that's probably excessive. But
Yeah,
my
it
thing,
is.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing, but here's my thing. But there's some form of whipping should start early enough till you don't have to get to that point. So where you've got
And
a
that's saying,
Terry, so where you got a Terry that can raise his voice to his daughter, and she know he means business, maybe they'll never get to that point. But when you have no discipline in the home, and there is no consequences, because we are being experienced with a generation that they're not even told that no. They're taught, this generation is taught they can have everything, they can do everything, everybody's a winner, and also they can call the cops on you. Now, to answer this question, if I'm in a relationship, that's a deal breaker for me in a relationship, because I'm gonna whoop ass. I'm going to
well,
whoop
Lee,
somebody's
let
ass.
me, let me ask you this. I had a son. My
So,
son, let me ask you this. My son, when he was like 3 and 4, because that was when I would spank him, I would thump his head and all of that.
right?
It did not phase him. It was like not working. My son got kicked out of daycare. He did not care. He was a no limit soldier, the way he used to act.
Right.
So when I started, I had to look at other ways and be creative, because the whooping did not help. He would be like, "Oh yeah, I'll take my whooping, but I'm gonna just do whatever." How are you gonna deal with that? You can whoop and whoop, but he's gonna think, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be bad. I know I'm gonna get this whooping, but I know after I get my whooping,
So let me ask you a question. So again, you raise a good point. I'm a firm believer that a woman cannot raise a man.
Well,
So when you sit here telling me that you gave him whoopings, but you didn't say anything about a man giving him a whooping.
My
So my thing is,
husband gave him whoopings, which I had to tell him to do it, and it just didn't face. I felt like it just did not work when we started taking things away, and when we started limiting certain things that he enjoyed doing.
right.
That's when I saw a different response. Like
So,
the whoopings didn't help.
so let me answer that. So I'm going to concede that not everything works on every child. So I'm not sitting here that saying beatings is the end all to be all. But I am saying that I see too many situations in the black community where you got women trying to raise men, and your standard of disciplining is too soft for these men, because these young men are growing up on a generation of rap videos and thugs and shit like that. And so timeouts don't work with them.
You got to keep that away from your child, though. You as a parent, you need to monitor what your child is watching and doing. Like my son.
Here's my problem with that, though. That's great that you put forth that effort. But if you're sending your child to school, now we all living in COVID-19, you're fighting an uphill battle, because that school has your child for more hours than you do if you're a working parent. So all the good that you're pouring into your child and lessons and all that stuff, when they walk out that door and they're getting around those other kids in school, they're being exposed to a different dynamic that you can't control. And so my experience has been, well, whatever's happened out there is fine. But when you cross this threshold, these are the rules. And sometimes those rules have to be enforced with force. There is nothing wrong in my opinion with a good old fashioned ass beating.
I told my son this: if you wanna be big, I'm gonna show you what being big is, and I am gonna knock you out.
My sisters and I, we grew up in a very abusive household that was at the hands of a step parent. And there was no love there. He hit us with phones, he hit us with bells, with shoes, with extension cords. And the product of that, it causes trauma in kids. We don't realize how much trauma Black kids are carrying.
Listen, the very first thing you said, you grew up in a home where it was abusive.
But so for some people, but he thought it was discipline, and a lot of other people thought it was discipline. So where do we define where it becomes abuse?
I was going to say, we know the difference between abusive and a whipping.
Mhm.
But if your mom was hitting you with an extension cord, that is not. There's no love there. That's abuse.
I
We
can't
I don't
agree with
we
know.
get
I can't
I
so
agree
we
on
get
that.
disagree.
so
I can't
accustomed
agree
to
with you
it
on that.
that we feel like it's
I
discipline.
don't
But
I
if
I'll,
you
don't
hit
agree
your
with you on
child with
that.
an extension cord, that is not love. That's abuse. I mean,
I don't
it's
I'll
agree.
say
And
this.
abuse.
that, so here's the thing. So that's your standard, and I'm sitting
Yeah.
here telling you as a man, every whooping that I got, it was with love. So if I can sit here and say this to you as a 53-year-old man, I
Right.
didn't walk away feeling like I need to blame the world and oh my God, well, she beat me now. That's why I'm a failure in life. I needed those ass whoopings. I needed
I,
them.
I just want to
I'm a
say this
firm
though
believer on that.
Yeah.
to
Go ahead.
Candace's point about the whoopings weren't working. It came to a point where my stepmom could not whip my brother, and my dad had gone to the FBI academy, so he wasn't in the home. So you know what her form of discipline was? My youngest brother, well, not my youngest brother, my second youngest brother, my older brother would whoop his ass, straight up fight, because that's the only thing that got through to him. You cannot treat people and act a certain way and not expect some sort of repercussions. If it's in your household, most of the time it is with love because the people in the streets are not going to treat you the same way at all. It's going to be way worse.
And
Mm.
so
So
let
it
me end
was
it.
better coming from my brother to whoop his ass than somebody else to whoop his ass.
So let me end it here. The beautiful part about this conversation is what we're learning is in this conversation. This is one of those true topics in a relationship that can make a break.
Yeah.
In terms of
Hmm.
the do's and the don'ts. So this is one of those cases where when you get with somebody, ask those questions. What are their views on corporal punishment, on discipline? Because you know what happens a lot of times. Now you get in a relationship with somebody, and if you got a Daracell who don't believe in discipline at all, and you got somebody on the other end of the spectrum who believes in whooping ass, you're inviting those kind of
Mhm.
issues. So before you get together on that serious level, you have to come to some kind of agreement. And to the topic on as far as a non-biological parent, my answer to that part is for me. I guess my thing is I forget who said it. Logia said it. If I don't have to step in, great. That makes for a beautiful relationship. You know what I'm saying? So if you can handle it, fine. But if there is discipline, I'm not going to be the head of a household where I'm paying bills, taking care of everybody, and then I can't discipline. So to Tasha's point, she says she's not going to date somebody who has kids. And
Mhm.
so I'm a Tasha, I'm a side with you in that sense. That's why I have refrained from being in serious relationship with women with kids as well, because I know it can create that dynamic to where that can be that tension in there. I've been in a relationship, but yeah, it can be an issue. So that's a big one. That's a huge one right there. Anyway, we're not
Black, I want to
solving
go
anything.
back to
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lakia.
Black. I want to go back to you saying a woman can't raise a boy to be a man.
Hmm.
I don't agree with that.
Go ahead.
No, I mean you saying a woman can't
Just
raise
in
a boy to
general.
be a man. I
When I
hear
say
both
that,
sides.
this is what I mean. There's only so much you can teach him.
Yep.
So to my, and this is my personal opinion. I think as great a mom as you can be, there are things he's
Oh,
going to have to learn from other men.
How you gonna teach him something that you're not?
I
Like you've
I
never been a
think
man.
I think I think all over the world you have households where women are raising men and they're going out there and they're doing the best they can, but something usually is missing because, like Terry said, you know, even some of these comments were saying about the reason why you would want a man whipping a daughter. You say it's different. Sherry says different. I can raise a daughter. If you want to get technical, of course you can raise a son to be a man. But there are things that's missing. And I'm gonna use an example. And I'm not gonna say no names here. I don't want to give away any kind of too much information. What does it say when I was in a situation where I, as a man, had to teach a little girl how to use a codex? Don't you think there's something wrong with that?
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, there
I'm
is.
asking, I'm asking all of you as women.
Yeah.
I'm
as
a
a
Absolutely.
grown
mother,
man,
you know.
Lucia, as a grown man, I had to tell a young girl at 12, 13, baby, this is what a Kotex is. This is what a tampon is. Now, of course, I can do it, but there's something wrong with that.
Why did you have to do that?
I'm not. If I go into that, I'll be telling too much.
Because
Done.
Bella Harris was on a job.
So I'm answering the Gia's question. Of course, you raise 3 sons, but what you know about jacking your dick off?
Oh,
Whoa.
You can only,
we just went
Can't
straight
say
to it.
that.
so much,
Or
baby.
they ain't got no girlfriend.
I wonder what Carlos Perry his comments
I'm,
mean.
I'm
A woman
sorry.
knows what a man looks like, though.
Okay, Carlos, you said a woman knows what a man.
Like
Yeah,
when
Carlos,
you was
expound
in
on that.
Tennessee,
Huh?
when you was in Tennessee, and my
Right.
son come to me and he said, "Mama, I'm ready to have sex." So what I told him, let me go get you some condoms, and when y'all get enough money to get a room, then y'all can handle y'all business.
So Terry,
Here
we're
goes
both.
to his
Terry,
brother,
we're
and
both men.
you,
So Terry, we're both men.
That's
You
different
tried.
though.
That's
So
a good
you took
attempt,
that
Lagia.
advice.
Yeah, that's
That's
different
good.
though.
That's a good attempt.
Terry, say that again. Terry, say that
I mean,
again.
see, that's a good attempt. I mean, if you teaching him, I guess he needs some advice on
I
sex.
admire that you're telling them to protect themselves, but that's not what a man would tell a
I
young
ain't gonna
boy
tell
about
my. If
sex.
I had a son, I ain't gonna tell him like, yeah, hey son, you put on this Jimmy and you make sure you keep this thing on ultra tight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no kids in here. This is how you get the mood right. You just break it down to him, not just like, here's some condoms, man. Good luck.
Different level that. So of course, I don't mean in a technical sense that a woman can't raise a man, but I'm saying there's things that only a man can tell a man. Vice versa. I can sit here and tell a little girl, now, baby, do this and do that. There's things that you as a woman can tell her that I will
you
never
know,
know about.
I can't
I
tell you
don't
how
have
you're gonna
a clue
feel.
about what it feels like to have a menstrual cycle. I don't have a clue about that.
I
So
know,
from
right?
where I sit, put your tampon on and shut the fuck up.
Let me give you a great example. When me and my ex split, my daughter was 3 years old, and when we split, I didn't get to take any of her clothes with her, no shoes, nothing, nothing. And so one of the hardest things for me is when I went to Target, I had to buy her some panties. As a man, I seen to this day, like they don't just say panties, they say like they got different names. I can't even name them. Like
Oh
it's like some
God, yeah.
thong panties, and it was just driving me crazy, man. Like
There's like
it's
20
only so
different
much I can do as a
designs.
man.
I'm a grown man and I still don't understand all that stuff with y'all drawers and stuff
I
and
just
bra size and
yeah,
why
I
they
don't
gotta
know.
be so expensive and what the wire under the top or the bottom. All I don't understand all
Yeah, so how can I teach my daughter that? Like, I
Freddie,
can
he
do it.
said,
It's a great
you gotta
attempt, but
say, you have to say
Carlos
panties.
responded.
Don't be saying drawers.
that. Okay, what I gotta say, panties. See what I'm
Right.
saying to your point here. I know your sons. You've done a fantastic job, but trust and believe they had to learn some things away from you by asking another man.
Mhm.
You know, trust
what
and
you say,
believe.
Tasha? You say Carlos responded? Yeah.
He did. He said a woman knows how a man should carry himself based on what they look for in a man. I disagree with that because it's a lot of women running around out here who don't even know what really a man looks
With
like.
some
I disagree
trash
with
man
that.
thinking they
They
got
think
good
Young
men.
Thug is a man. I don't even know what that is.
I'm gonna
Now,
leave it here with you,
women
You
like
Carlos.
wear a
y'all to
What
dress,
find
girl.
a
Carlos,
daddy.
Carlos, man, next time come on camera, but I'm gonna leave it here to answer that part. What if the woman herself is damaged? So if you're damaged goods and you're looking for damaged goods, what does that equate to? So there's so many women out here that's damaged by men, I might add, that's
Hmm.
ruined by men, I might add, and some of their own doing. But if you're looking for a man, under what standards are you looking for? Where are you getting that criteria from? Because to Daracel's point, let me use your point, Daracel. If
Hmm.
you're raised in a household where there was abuse, no love, I'm saying you was raised that way, but I'm saying if you was raised in that environment and you think that's normal, then that's what you're looking for.
But in my, I will say this for me. when I grew up, the household I grew up, it was very just unstable. It was very toxic. It was abusive. And I wanted something different than that. I was like, I will never be this way and I will never date a man that does this. So anytime I saw those red flags or those triggers, I kept it moving because sometimes you are attracted to those people without even knowing why. And
Right,
I met certain type of guys that would fly off the handle over tiny little
right,
stuff. I'm like,
right,
no, I
right,
recognize that behavior. And I
right.
was like, no, but some girls don't recognize that because that's all the love they got. And they think that that's how love should be. So you
There,
have to recognize those red flags and be like, no, 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 no.
there you go. Perfect answer. I couldn't say it any better. Let me get to my last scenario, guys, because this one, as you saw, I was building towards topics that was going to be more explosive. So I got one more topic to bring in here: flirting. Anybody who knows me, I love to flirt. I think it's healthy. I think it's normal. I call everybody sweetheart. You know, if I'm riding with a woman, even with my wife or girlfriend, I'm looking out the window. She got a fat pumping ass. What you think, baby? I think it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? All looking at the women's faces, they all looking all sour.
No, what you ain't gonna do. Is that the topic?
There you go. Yep.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know what? Steve has had some situations at work where girls would come up to him and be like, "Oh, you smell good. What's your name?" And he'd be like, "Mary." That's the perfect answer. You didn't shut it down,
Damn,
point
Steve.
blank, period. You don't leave nothing open.
Amen to
So
Steve.
no,
Amen to Steve. Okay.
See, I
Hold
guess
on.
for me,
Hold
I'm
on.
different.
Hold on. Before you start, Daracel.
I know where you're going.
Yep. She's a flirt.
I love to flirt.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
just
a
like a
flirt.
free spirit. Steve knows this. I always say I'm just like a free little bird. I just, it's like,
Mm.
but listen, Freddie, I like to flirt, but I respect the boundaries of our marriage. I ain't never done nothing. I flirt
I
when I'm drinking.
agree that you respect it, but you damn sure go up to the line with it. So I'm gonna say that now.
He knows my gray area.
Okay. Okay.
We've talked about that. You can
Okay.
do all the way up to this,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's how I take
Okay. Okay. Come on, Candace.
it.
I'm kind of like Daracel. I'm a flirt. Me and my husband are both flirts. So I mean, it is what it is. As long as you're not doing it in my face, I know if you don't take it a step further, like if you say I'm meeting this woman for dinner, then yeah, let's
Right.
take it a step
Right.
further. But people flirt all the time. It's natural. I flirt. I feel like I flirted on shows. I've told people they're attractive. So
Yeah.
it's just me.
I will come back to myself, but I agree. I think it's healthy. Sherry, why are you looking like that?
Listen, I'm listening. You already know. Talking about you riding in cars and you saying, "Oh no, you would have been swapped all across your head and all that." No.
Missed my
Mm-mm.
eye.
Hold on, Sherry. But I know you flirt.
Yeah, he do too. He right here. Listen,
So how is that fair?
Don't do it in front of me. Like,
because he
don't do
don't
it in front
do
of me.
as I
Yeah.
do as I say.
Hold on. Say that again.
Don't do as I do. Do as I say. This is
Ooh,
how it's gonna go.
Tony,
Huh?
Tony, run. Tony, run.
Too late
that's the
now.
pot.
You love how I do, right?
Uncle Tony don't respond.
Tony,
Uncle
run.
Tony.
See?
Lagia, Lagia,
Did
where
you
you
hear?
stay? I'm sorry.
Did you hear what he said?
What?
Tony, did you hear? Tell him what you said.
Said I just go with the flow.
He said, "Go with the flow."
Yeah, that's Uncle
Go
Tony
with
right
the flow.
there.
Smart
See?
man. Smart man. Smart man.
The man I
Smart man.
like. He just go with the
Smart
flow.
man. Smart man. Lagia, where you stand on flirting?
Like 20 minutes.
Cause Lagia,
You okay,
you
Jay?
a damn flirt too.
Michael got flirt.
What? I see. I
I
have the
work with the
privilege of
public.
knowing her. Go ahead. Oh man, come on. You're
No,
hammering us up.
he said,
What you say, Lagia?
I work with the public. I have a right to do that.
Wow.
Um,
So you gonna blame this on your job?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
She gonna blame this on her job. Can he flirt? Can, can, can he flirt?
That laugh
We
said
have a
yes.
okay, okay,
Well, I would tell you, my previous job, I worked with a guy who used to flirt so much, and it backfired on him. He ended up cheating on his wife with this woman he met in Minnesota, and they got divorced. Luckily,
Oh,
they found God again, and they got back together. I think flirting is dangerous. You know,
okay.
most women think it's okay because they can trust themselves. They know how far they're
Yeah,
gonna
we gonna
go,
make you put this
and
in that.
they don't want their men to flirt. But I think flirting is dangerous, especially when you flirting with somebody that you're attracted to, or maybe somebody powerful and attractive flirt with your significant other in front of you. Then it ain't so cool no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
We
so,
I'll
so
say this. We know our boundaries though. Like if I'm flirting with you, it's very innocent. But like if you in my inbox, I'm not gonna just sit here and be like, just keep a conversation going.
Right?
I'm
okay.
gonna
Yeah.
right,
like
right.
cut it off
Yeah,
right there.
that sounds good, but I don't know your boundaries, and I'm trying to see how far I could go. So let's keep playing
Well,
this game. See what happens.
you'll find them out if you come in my inbox.
Let's
You
play
will
a
find them
game.
out.
Okay.
So Terry, do you flirt in a relationship? Where do you stand on flirting for
In a
you?
relationship, nah, I ain't flirting. I'm flirting with my girl. That's
Okay, okay.
that's what she's
I
there for.
respect that.
Or I'm
I
flirting with other
respect that.
women for.
I respect that. I respect that.
But
T- Go ahead, Candace.
I was gonna
you
say
flirt
this,
right
like
there.
me and my husband.
Everybody
Oh,
flirt at one time.
I agree.
yeah.
I
Everybody flirt.
I don't flirt. I don't flirt. Even I don't flirt. I
I
don't do
believe
it.
I
Black,
believe
you
you,
can
Tasha.
say
I
I
believe
believe
you.
I
I
believe
don't
Tasha
flirt.
too. You
I
too
believe you.
I
stressed
You
and
don't
don't.
have to
busy. You
convince
ain't
us.
got time to flirt.
If you come up to me to start a conversation, I'll engage in the conversation, but I don't flirt.
I've seen
What?
you flirt. Tasha doesn't flirt in a traditional sense, but you
Mm-mm.
get
I'm
enough
very
drinks.
awkward.
You get enough drinks in her. Then I've seen the flirtations.
I don't even know who she is. No,
Oh, see, okay.
flirt.
That's how we
That's
flirt.
different. That's
Flirting.
different. That's different.
So,
But
That's a
no,
different
No,
but
person.
I
I'm
but
not
in
gonna
general,
lie.
she doesn't flirt.
I'm a flirt. R. Kelly song. I'm a flirt.
I I don't for me, but in a relationship, for like for you, Black, I don't want to hear it. I'm not gonna act like you're a man,
Okay,
like you don't have eyes and that you
okay,
can't see someone attractive.
okay.
Be respectful, but don't let me hear it, and damn sure don't let me just see you breaking your neck looking at. What the hell are you looking at?
Mhm.
Because then
But
that's when I'm gonna
it
question
strokes
it.
all of our egos a little bit to know that even when you're in a relationship, that other people are still attracted to you. I mean, it's just the ego booster. That's all it is. I mean, that's why most of the time it's harmless. You know, if
So let
you
me
this
ask
is
you ladies
something
a
that you
question. So Tasha says she don't want to see it. So what's wrong if we're riding together? We in a car. I have no way of getting at that person. The woman's crossing the street or something, and I look over and say, "Damn, you got a fat pumping ass."
That's
You
not
What's
can
wrong
flirting.
admire
with
it.
that?
It doesn't have
That's
to be
that's not
audible.
flirting.
That's lustful, Satan. That's lustful.
That's you looking at a woman and saying she has a fat ass. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, her ass is fat, but that's not flirting.
That's not.
If
Hold on.
if you yell out the window, be like, damn, you got a fat
No, I
ass.
didn't yell out the window. I'm talking to my woman. I'm
That's
saying, oh, I'm
to me,
saying,
that's not flirting.
thank you, thank you, thank you. That's not
But
no,
I,
that's
flirting.
not.
I don't need to hear it though. That's the whole thing. Why can't you say it to yourself? Why do
Well,
I have
man,
to
you
hear that?
talking. Okay, so to your point,
You can
I have
admire it, but
I have
why
been
do I
I
have
have
to hear
been
it?
with my woman, and a guy walked in. I'll say, well, that's your type, right?
No, no,
And,
no, no, no. No, that's different than saying, "Damn, he's got a big dick print." What if I said that? You'd be like, "You
No,
got me
you don't
fucked up."
went too far, Tasha. You don't went a little
you
too
know
far
what?
today.
But he said ass.
No,
I'm
no,
just
that,
saying,
Them
we
no.
as
great
women,
I'm
we
fat
look for the
ass,
print.
I'm
baby.
telling you for me. I'm telling you
You
for
can't
me.
say that, Tasha.
That thing crazy.
No, no. For
I don't
me,
want to
that
hear
would
about
be
no big
okay.
print.
Tasha, to your point, I would rather hear that out loud because my thing is you're alive and you feeling it. Because I might lean over in your ear and say, "I'm gonna have to beat that pussy tonight." Then I'm okay.
I think she got you, Unc. I
I'm
mean,
okay.
because if the woman say the same thing, I don't want to hear that like no dick prints. Like,
Right.
man, I wouldn't mind riding that tonight. That pole, like, hey,
Okay,
man, take that somewhere
but
else.
now, Terry, Terry, when that bother me, I've gone out with my wife.
Uh-huh.
I've gone out with women I've loved and sent them on a dance floor and let them get down. And I've even encouraged them. You bullshitting out there. Handle your business. I want my woman turned on. If she going to the strip club, baby, here's the money. Go ahead on. I don't have time to worry about what she did. Bring that snatch back to me, nice and clean, and we gonna be okay.
Okay, let somebody else play with it, warm it up,
I
and
think
then after it's warmed
Yeah.
up,
now Black,
yeah,
I feel like that's playing
okay.
with fire. That's taking it a little bit too
I know
far.
a lot of dudes would love to play with it
I'm
and
not
warm it
saying
up
it's
for you.
right. I'm not saying it's right, but
That's what you want
I
to.
don't want to dance with another man in front of my husband because if he dances with
Me
another
neither.
chick, yeah,
I'm gonna be pissed.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
oh, your husband can't dance with another woman?
Not
No,
like that.
No,
No. Terry ain't talking
no,
no, forget the grabbing and the touching. I'm
no,
just talking about a dance.
no,
no,
Oh,
Oh,
dance.
I don't care about that.
no.
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 I'm
If you
Dance
put
with
Terry,
it. Have a
something
good
wrong with
time.
me,
Terry,
then
I'm not
no.
talking about you're at a wedding. Ladies, you're at a wedding. You're at a wedding. So I'm not
Okay.
talking about no club situation. A woman said, "Oh, can I dance with your husband?" Are you serious?
Yeah, because let me tell you this: I have ass too. So if he sees my ass on the dance floor with another man, then he's gonna have a problem with it. Because if he comes
Right,
home and dance, I'm gonna show my ass
right,
on the dance.
right.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
it depends on the song. Now, he can't be out there talking about, we gonna be, he
Good
can't be
point,
dancing
Tasha.
to silk with
Good point.
another bitch. Like,
Maybe that's a good
you got
point.
me feeling some type of way. It
Maybe
depends
that's
on
a
the
good
song.
point.
That shows
Maybe
you
that's
our culture. Because in the Hispanic culture, like, yeah, I go hang out. They dance with everybody. It don't matter who
Mhm.
you are, 70, 80.
white
We
people
dance with
too.
But
everybody.
they're
Yeah.
doing salsa.
White
Like
people
our
too.
culture is
No, they
booty.
do bachata too. We do, and bachata, you kind of close. It don't
Yeah.
matter.
No, our cultures is either booty
Yeah,
dancing or whining, and
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want
twerking.
the
Yeah, it's
woman
always
whining
twerking. That's what I
on
think
my
about.
man.
that is true.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. I give y'all that.
yeah.
Okay, I give y'all
That's
that.
what, it depends on the song. That's really what it depends on.
I give y'all
Mhm.
that. All right. You know what? I learned so much. I hope the audience learned something. I want to end it on a positive note, though. We talked about what you ain't gonna do, and then all the things you're not gonna do, and how that impact each other. I want to cover just a couple of things that I think are important. That if you do in a relationship, it can make all the difference in the world to strengthening your bond. One of the
Mhm.
things that people take for granted is, to me, what you should do in a relationship, you should celebrate the important stuff
Yeah.
in relationships. I think we don't do that enough. And I'll just kind of, in a quick way, I hear you agreeing with that, Darren. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Oh yeah, like special days, anniversaries, birthdays. They just time it because it creates a moment
You're
that
married.
just
Here you
for you
go. Why
guys.
do you think that's important? Why is that
Because
important?
it lets me know that he's thinking about me, and it lets him know that I'm thinking about him. The day that we met, or our anniversary, or my birthday, he remembered my birthday. There's a lot of guys that do nothing, and it makes women feel so small when you forget things like that. I mean, it don't have to be a trip to Jamaica, even though that's how I get down. But it can be,
Stop
it
it,
can be
stop
a,
it.
it can be a birth. Y'all know I like to brag. I'm sorry. It can be a birthday cake, a glass of wine, a nice dinner, things like that. Still, like, man, he thought about me. We've done that before too, but it's just, the fact that he's thinking about me makes me feel special. And, you want to reciprocate that when you do. So it just keeps that, positive energy going in your relationship.
Absolutely. Terry, as a guy, how important do you think that is to celebrate the important stuff?
Yeah, I agree with Dara said. Like, it just creates moments, special memories, that special bond between you and your significant other. So I think it's very important. Like, I pretty much everything she just said. It lets you know that she's thinking about you. You're thinking about her, and yeah, it just build this irreplaceable bond. I think of my parents. They take little trips. Even my brother, like, they have their little special vacations or whatever. I get tired of going to Branson, Missouri, but, like, that's what they like doing, and they just
Right.
love it. You know.
I put that on my list because I think too many times when we're in relationships, there's a tendency to take each other for granted.
Hmm.
And you forget that whatever it took to get that person, You
Gotta keep
still have to do those things. And I'm not just talking about men doing for women. Guess what, ladies?
Oh, thank you.
We feel the exact same way.
Hmm.
So just like your husband remembered, you know, and celebrated, took you places, listen to what he's saying. And if something is important to him, celebrate it.
hmm
Because that does a hell of a lot for a man's ego and also for him to feel appreciated in the exact same way. And so it's too many times women are waiting on the man to take the lead and take the initiative. Celebrate the important stuff. There are things that is important to him too. Did he get a promotion on his job? You know what I'm saying? Did he finish a class if he's in school? You know what I'm saying? If it's his birthday, stop giving him just a tie, the same old gift or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you're laughing. Celebrate the important stuff and do something different. That keeps the relationship fresh. Number
I,
two, I'm sorry.
Hold on, can I say
no, I
one
know
thing
what
No,
you're
before we
I'm
saying.
move
not.
on?
But
I just
Uh,
want to say, can we remember this moment? Because this is the first time that
I'm
Terry
not
has agreed with
because
anything that I've ever said.
I know, right? I do agree with you.
Yes, I gotta
okay,
remember this.
okay, okay. Let me go to number two. Accept your partner for who they are.
Oh God, thank
no,
you.
Can who wanted to say something on that?
Somebody go.
I,
I'll
I
take
can
it.
say something. Yeah, me too.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tasha, you want to say something?
Ladies
yeah,
first.
no, it's that's a big one because it's we always want to have this idea of how we want this person to be in our head, how we want them to act, but
Preach.
it really is just accepting them for everything, all their flaws,
Preach.
all their quirks, everything. And it takes a lot sometimes, more than what you're willing to give sometimes. But I think
Preach.
if you truly love that person, you'll look past all of that.
Preach. Darcel or Candace, you had something?
I wanted to say when my husband met me, he knew I love to drink, I love to dance. You know, he knew that I love to flirt, and he's okay with that. He just kind of accepted me the way that I was, and that's kind of what makes our relationship work. Didn't try to change me. You know, like no, you can't go out with your friends. No, you can't. No, it was none of that. He accepted. He just let me be my wonderful self. You know.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Anybody else want to comment on that point?
No, not really. Just like women, especially the single women. If you accept your man for who he is, it'll go a long way, a very long way.
He has
Might
to
mess
be a
around and get.
very, very special man, like Jesus
Well, you
himself.
might mess around and get a ring.
Amen.
You never know.
Amen.
You might put
Terry,
a ring on it.
Hallelujah.
Terry, please say that again. Terry, say that again.
They might mess around and give you a ring, put a ring on it. You know, but
I want the reason why I want you to repeat that. There's a lot of situations out there. They're saying always a bridesmaid, never the bride. And you're wondering in a lot of cases why you don't become the bride. Now, let me say for the record, not everybody wants to be a bride,
true.
but I'm saying if that's your aspiration, a lot of times the biggest impetus to that is that you're trying to change that person.
Mhm.
When if you accept them for who they are, then maybe they're willing to take that next step with you. Because I can sit here and tell you as a man, I've never remarried for that reason.
Yep.
I take marriage serious. Lagia's man stepped in the
Yeah, let's see
picture.
what
Let's
he got
put
to
it up.
say. Come on in,
But
bro.
I've never remarried for that reason. It's because whenever we were getting close, and I thought maybe was getting close, there was that moment where, well, I want you to be something I'm not, and I am who I am, because we only get to be raised once. Some of us raised by two parents, some by one, some by none. But whatever we are, and you meet me, I'm not saying you can't improve me and I can't improve you, but accept them for who they are. Because if you're going to be with me and we talking about long term, this is it. This is what we're getting. So you want to accept that.
I
So
give you one example. Like, all guys don't play video games, but there's a lot of guys who play video games, and it's a lot of women who that just aggravates them. Like, grow up, be a man. Why are you playing video games? It's like your man is at home. You know where he is. Like, what's the problem? Accept him for who he is.
very good
Stop trying
point.
to change him. You know.
Very good point.
But
Because
women are naturally they want to fix things or they feel like fixers. So you have to think about like I met him this way. You know, it's not gonna change. So you can't fix what's not broken because he's not broken. He don't think he's broken. You know,
Thank you.
so,
Yeah.
and you met him that way. You
What are you
know,
fixing?
Thank
Wi-
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so to Terry's point, Okay, you nag, cause I think it's similar to you play video games. Now he going to
Yeah.
the shake joint.
Yeah.
Which is better? So
No,
sometimes fixing shit, you
Oh,
get what you
baby.
ask for. You know what I'm
but
saying?
sometimes with that video game
See,
thing,
there
it
you
can be
go.
too much. It could be
See,
six
that's the
to
changer
12
right
hours
there.
a
Well,
day.
okay, so anything in
That's what I'm
modesty.
saying.
So
It's
everything is
in
anything in
modesty.
modesty. Anything in
Yeah.
modesty. Absolutely. Number 3, guys, know when to keep your thoughts to yourself.
Mm-mm.
See, if you notice, I didn't pick the regular things you should do. I'm talking about some real shit here. Know when to keep your.
That
Why
sounds
do, why do you think that's
that sounds
important?
like choose your battles.
Go ahead. So speak on that.
Right.
It sounds like choosing your battles. You need to choose your battles in regards to
Mhm.
Why,
things that go
why,
on, and
why is
that's what
that
I do in
important?
my marriage.
Why is that important, though, Candace, to say it
Because
that way?
because you have to kind of look at the big picture when it comes to your relationship. Am I
Mhm.
freezing?
No,
A
no,
little bit,
yeah, a
but we
little
hear
bit,
you.
but
A
we can hear
little
Am
you.
I
bit.
freezing?
We can hear
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to look at the big picture. Some things aren't worth arguing about, which is why you need to kind of choose what you decide to bring to his attention or your mate's attention. Because if it's not worth arguing about, you don't want it to mess up your relationship. Like I feel like the important things are what matter. And if you can let some things slide, that'll be good for your situation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Anybody want to add to that?
So my,
I think it.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Mhm.
Go ahead. No, sorry.
Go ahead, D. Mhm.
I was just going to say the motto in our house is not to sweat the small things, and that goes for our kids too. So we
Okay.
don't get upset over little things. I mean, Steve and I, we hardly ever argue because I mean, if it's not big enough to cause, distress for a long amount of time, then don't even bring it up. I mean, it's fine, let it go. We can have a conversation about it, but we're not going to argue about
Good.
Absolutely.
I like that
Absolutely.
household.
Tasha?
I think it really just depends on the person that you're with. Like it goes back into getting to know that person because you'll know like those little quirks and things that make them tick. That to you it
it.
may not be a big deal, but for somebody who might have like OCD or something like that or anxiety, it may be a big deal for them. And that's something that I think gets overlooked a lot of times in relationships that they don't realize that their mate may have those things and that it may not be a big deal to you, but it is really a big deal to them. And it can be a deal breaker for them.
Oh shit, Tosh, you got OCD?
Hell no, I got OCD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not right now. I
Yeah.
don't got
A little.
OCD.
She
A
got a
little
little
bit.
bit. She got a
I
little bit.
think
She
so.
do.
She got a little bit.
Well,
Yeah, she do a little
the
bit.
labels in the refrigerator all facing the same way.
Yeah,
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 I
she got,
think, but that's
she got
normal.
a little
Is that not normal?
bit. Yeah,
Fix your
yeah,
refrigerators,
yeah.
damn
A
it.
little bit.
Trust me, she got a little bit.
Organize
It
the
all makes
refrigerators,
sense
okay?
now.
That's
You got
all I'm saying.
OCD. I got a little OCD. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
She do. And that's the beauty of it. That if that's the case, but you love her, do you really want
Mhm.
to pick a fight over something that's not worth fighting about? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
I'll give you a
So
great example. My ex was always late, and so
Oh
why
God,
am
I
I
hate
gonna
that.
make a big deal about it? Like it's expected. I'm not gonna argue with you. I know you're gonna be 10 minutes late.
there
So
you
yeah,
go.
you
So
choose your battles.
you compensate. And to Darcel's point, when I was married, you don't go to bed angry. Too many times,
Mhm.
because when on that same thought, knowing when to keep your thought to yourself. If you got to bring it up, if it's important enough to bring it up, then you damn well better resolve it before you go to bed. Because I can tell you to go to sleep on an issue or problem, you might think it's over, and she don't. And now you're waking up that
Mhm.
next morning. It could be a cold freaking morning, and then one thing could to another. So you know what? I had to learn that because I'm real vocal and I can be real harsh with my words. And so in relationships, I had to kind of work on that to like pick, like you said, Candace, pick my battles and to keep my thoughts to myself in a lot of ways because I don't have OCD, but I'm very opinionated. And my thing is, what's going on in my head? Sometimes I had to realize, keep that in my head. That's going to cause a problem if I say that out loud. And so that's the last one is connect with each other each and every day. Connect with each other each and every day.
That's a good one.
To me, if you want to be in a successful relationship,
Mhm.
You know what COVID-19 really did for a lot of couples? It exposed the level of connection between that couple. If you're with somebody
Mhm.
you really don't like,
Mm,
and now you gotta be behind these four walls with that motherfucker,
yeah.
Yeah, a
looking at each other,
long quarantine.
it can make for a miserable experience. You know what I'm saying? And so to avoid that, because we don't never know what our circumstances might put us in, and I'm telling you from experience, just because you up today, your fate can change tomorrow. You can
Mhm.
be working and making money, but what happens if somebody loses their job and now there's only one income in the house? Now you
Mhm.
got to tighten your belt and things like that. So to weather those potential storms that could come up, try connecting with that person every day, learning a little bit about them to know the intuitive things, like Tasha said, so that if something happens, you know how to deal with it. You're prepared in a lot of ways because you've made a genuine connection. People get together because of lust, because of
Mhm.
financial reasons, because of
Mhm.
children. They stay together because of children, all of those reasons. So make a genuine connection with that person and try to do it every day. And here's my point I'm gonna say on that. It doesn't have to be the big things.
Every day.
That's the easy part. Sherry, every day.
Yeah,
Every day.
every day.
You might think, okay, well, how is that possible? Guess what? Shame on you if you're in a relationship with somebody you want to be in. Let me with the relationship with
Mm.
that you're not finding a reason to have some kind of conversation with them on something. Because the longer those gaps come, my marriage ended because we drifted apart, because
Mhm.
we didn't connect every day. When we were struggling in a one-bedroom apartment with roaches, we had no damn choice but to connect every day. We were all we had. You laughing, but I'm telling y'all the truth. Then all of a sudden we found ourselves in a three-bedroom house and making good money. There was no we had no reason to connect. And when you drift in a relationship, anybody know what drifting is? You don't
Yes.
sail away fast. When you drifting, you
Mhm.
don't even notice you're moving. You
Right.
just wake up one day and you so far away from where your center until you can't get back there.
Mhm. Right.
And so that's what I'm talking about.
I
Yeah.
call it stealing a moment every day. Whether for people who have kids,
Oh, that's good.
having
Yeah.
breakfast
I like
together, going on a walk or something, getting away from your kids where it's just you two. That's what I consider it. Some of my best memories from relationships weren't for big days, for anniversaries, birthdays. No, it was because it was a Tuesday and we decided to go day drinking. And it was just us
Yeah.
hanging out. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Just
I
talking.
love
That's
it.
it.
I love it. I love it. So that's my for what it's worth. I could have put together a traditional list, but I wanted to pick out a few things that were real, that apply to real relationships, things we go through each and every day. So that's all I got, folks. As far as this conversation, it's been enlightening. I'm gonna tell you that. I'll tell you that. You know, so I've learned personally. I'll usually go last. I'm gonna go first. I learned because I'm not in a relationship and I want to be in one in 2021. That's one of my goals.
Mhm.
And so I'm trying to make adjustments. I went on camera today live and I said this. I don't know if how many of you caught my live video. I'm working on all phases of myself for 2021. And I didn't want to put it off. It's the beginning of the year started. So I've got my physical, my mental, my emotional, my material, and my spiritual. What I love about this conversation is it's further highlighting what I need to look for in terms of understanding somebody, being with somebody. And so for me, when you talk about the things that you do and the things you don't and what you ain't gonna take, it let me know there's some things that I have to look at and make some compromises. Because at the end of it, I gotta ask myself, how important is that to meeting somebody? You know,
Mhm.
and so for me, I'm looking at these conversations and I'm saying to myself, let me understand it from their point of view because I talk about this all the time. Opportunities, I'm 53, what are my opportunities out there? So, am I likely to meet somebody with no children? Probably not. They probably gonna have kids. You know what I'm saying? So, I've got to look at the situations and circumstances and understand it from their point of view and adjust my thinking, not change who I am, still be myself, but adjust my thinking enough to know what I can take and what I can't take and to try to understand it from their point of view. So I love hearing all these different views. Some of them, I kind of, they bristle me a little bit, but I'm a kind of person like this. I go back and I play them in my head and I see how can I work them into what I believe in my own personal level of ethics, and things I do things. So I love everybody on this screen, and so I take from it from everybody. So that's me. Candace done had too much to drink. She done.
Candace
Looks like it.
she's twisted. She's trying to eat her hot down. She's twisted.
that hookah and that drink got you. So I'm gonna let you guys say any last thoughts. Any last thoughts, anybody?
I just want to say the key to any successful relationship is a lot of patience and kind of understanding that person. You have to realize they're a whole separate person from you, and you're gonna have to learn how to fit it together.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Anybody else?
Candace, you is twisted, girl. I can feel it.
I know. Well, I'm eating, and then my connection keeps freezing, and yes, I am a little tipsy.
For me, I told you, Black, the other day. I have decided that for 2021, of course, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm gonna be dating myself this year. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. I want to do better for me.
I want her to tell y'all this.
For me, a lot of times, and you may not believe it or not, but it takes a lot for me to interact with people. It takes a lot out of me. So I just want to spend this year just doing for me and only me. I want to be so selfish this year and just taking better care of myself.
I want her to say that on camera. I love the concept of that. She's going to date herself in 2021. And for a lot of you women out there, and so I wanted her to say that because a lot of women out there, they think the only goal is you got to have a person, you got to have a man, you got to have somebody. You don't. Maybe the answer in 2021 is to get to know yourself better. Date your damn self. Go if you want to go eat dinner and get you a steak, go sit and eat steak by your damn self. Go see a movie by your damn self. Send yourself some flowers. I know, Lord knows they got all kinds of masturbation tools. So do whatever floats your boat. Do you? You know what I'm saying?
So I would agree.
I'm
sorry. I would agree with Tosh on that one. Like when I split with my ex, my story was I was used to being in a relationship. So when I was going on a date, man, I was taking these women to nice ass restaurants, and none of them really respected that, and they kind of dogged me out, to be honest with you. And so I got to a place where most of my friends, they dead locked up or they married or whatever. It was just me. And so like she just said, I just got real selfish. I just did anything that made me happy, taking trips, joining leagues, going places. You'll see me all over Dallas by my damn self doing what I want. And it's the best feeling in the world because now I am content being by myself.
Love it.
I could go anywhere by myself and I'm happy. So it's a good feeling.
I love it. I love it. All right, Sherry, what you got?
I'm gonna take y'all advice. Shit, I'm about to date my damn self. How about that?
You married, girl.
I'm a Tony.
I'm about to date myself and I'm doing everything for me. And we gonna for me too. So then it's gonna be two needs. And listen, I'm about to date myself.
2021, sis.
But Darcel gives you some advice every week, Auntie Sherry. You haven't took that advice yet.
Do what?
Darcel gives you advice every week. You haven't took that advice yet.
I think I know what he's talking about.
Advice to do what?
Slob on the knob, like on the top.
I ain't ready for that nephew.
Oh, so you ain't living like that.
I just can't do it. I can't. Because first of all, my thoughts, I gotta get out of my thoughts of, first of all, it's like a dog. First of all, you down there. You know, look over here. Then
Have
they
them
all
stand on the bed. Make
Just
it
put it on.
fun.
Just put it on your bucket list. Put it on your bucket list, and if it don't happen, at least it was on the list.
Then you gotta be looking, and then just to know that they waste come out of there. And, oh,
What?
hell,
Wait, you make it sound so awful.
Get them fresh out the shower. Do that. Get them fresh out the shower.
Oh my
and
god.
then nephew, you know I got this tongue ring. You know, I got this tongue ring,
Yeah.
and then that tongue ring gonna be getting hooked up on that. I ain't fucking with that.
No, it won't. I used to have a tongue ring. It won't.
It
You
won't.
good.
Mm-mm.
No excuses
I
in
love my tongue
2021,
ring.
Sherry. No excuses.
I
Oh
love
my
my
god.
tongue ring.
Terry, you should open that door.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like the tongue ring. My tongue ring.
Sherry, we gonna have a girls only session. You bring the popsicle, and we'll give you instructions.
There we go. We're gonna start small.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Work
Oh
up
my
to like
god.
a ketchup bottle or something. I don't know.
Oh, Legia, I'm getting ready to close out, baby. You got any last thoughts? Legia,
No,
she thinks
I'm
she got you. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming
Oh,
on.
shit. I ain't even see what you on here right there. I'm sorry. She probably didn't know what we was talking about. Excuse
I
me.
know. No, Legia, she been tuning in. I
Oh,
want to thank everybody for joining tonight's conversation. It's been another great, fantastic show. So that's why I say she said she heard. So
okay, yeah. I ain't. They trying to tell me something. I don't know about that.
all right. Y'all
I
gonna have
did
to talk. Y'all gonna have to talk about that in a girls session, like Daracel said, and it has to start you off. Cause now that I don't want to imagine, so I'm gonna leave that alone right there. But everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm looking forward to Saturday's talk. Thank you so much for joining once again. Love you guys. Appreciate you for the new year. We're gonna all be off to a better start. And so, Georgia, go Georgia. Tasha
All
had to
right.
Yes.
put that in
We love
Georgia.
Georgia.
Yep.
there. All right.
Bye.
All
All right,
right. Have a good night.
Wow, stupid. Y'all is crazy. Y'all